Bula Vinaka boxing fans. So we had Canelo versus Mungia tonight, and what a fight that was. This video is going to break down the fight and my thoughts on both fighters and how I saw the fight, and questions around what next for Jaime and Canelo. So obviously this fight was pretty iconic for Mexicans. Cinco de Mayo weekend. I think it's only the second time that Canelo has fought over a Cinco de Mayo weekend. The first time was against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and that was a victory for Canelo then, and it was also a victory for Canelo tonight. The fight started really fast. I thought Jaime came out of the blocks outstandingly well. He looked fast. He was putting his combinations together. He had the speed that was unquestionable. He was jabbing, putting his combinations. And I thought, man, if he continues to do this, this will be a very similar outcome to what Bivol did against Canelo. I had him up the first 3 rounds. I think one of the commentators that I was listening to in the PBC stream, they had Mungia up 2-1. And then going into the 4th round, I thought that Mungia was also winning the 4th round. I just felt that he was, whilst he was throwing a lot of punches in, and yes, a few were getting blocked by Canelo, I just thought he was the busier fighter. I thought that Canelo was really preserving his punches. He was landing some good counters, but they weren't as effective until that devastating uppercut. And I remember just before the uppercut, I was screaming at Jaime, throw the uppercut, because Canelo always has a high guard, right? So he has a high guard. He lets you throw your combinations. A lot of them he's blocking, or he's either blocking in his hands or he's kind of slipping the shot. Brilliant defense from Canelo. And I was looking at Jaime. He's too busy trying to go for the head, body, and I'm thinking, go for the uppercut. Jaime, throw the uppercut. And then what do you know? Canelo slips and throws the uppercut. And then Jaime drops to the ground, and I was like, oh no. And that was towards the end of the round. A round which I saw Jaime was actually winning. So he could have been on my scorecard up 4-0. And then after that knockdown, it just completely changed the fight for me. So Jaime came back in the 5th round. He changed his approach. He was a bit more cautious. He wasn't putting his punches together. The speed wasn't there. I think there was a bit of caution around what was coming back. And he started to see Canelo work out Mungia with his brilliant counterpunches, particularly the uppercut, which he landed a few more times. And thankfully, Jaime didn't go down. But also, he was doing so well with that straight right hand. And then you started to see Canelo actually out-jabbing Mungia, who was the taller, the longer fighter. And I thought, oh man, this is going to be just a matter of time until Jaime gets stopped. So, to Jaime's credit, true warrior, man. I thought he did well to actually see the 12th and final round. But I had Jaime winning the first 3 rounds. And then after that, I think I gave him one more round. I think it was around 9 or 8 or 9, one of the rounds. He threw a bit more combinations together. And you can tell with Canelo, right, that when you are throwing good punches together, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like a faster fighter throwing good combinations, those straight punches, and he kind of goes back. And Canelo, I'm not sure if anyone has noticed this, but he takes a lot of rests in his rounds now. Like, he will come and be explosive for 1 to 2 minutes of the round. The rest of the round, he's just blocking. He's got brilliant defense, and he's looking for that counterpunch. Now, whether that's a change of style or whether that's because he just doesn't have, the youth or agility, speed that he once had. Because I remember a Canelo that would just be constantly throwing punches and wouldn't take rests. But in this fight, 100%. And I can see how Bivol beat him. And let me tell you this, if Bivol rematches him again at 175, forget 168, it will be not only another win for Bivol, but it will be even more comprehensive. Because I think the difference between Jaime and Bivol was that Bivol could find quality punches over quantity, and he could vary his punches, whereas Jaime was just throwing the same ones. He wasn't looking to vary his punches. And Canelo is just the master of working out your game plan and what you're going to do. And then once he's figured you out, you're done. Unless you're Floyd Mayweather or Dimitri Bivol. But what's next for Canelo? Look, Canelo, everyone wants to see him fight Benavidez. I mean, he was in the ring there today. Benavidez is an absolute warrior, man. This guy is a 2-time super middleweight champion. He's never lost. He's a 2-time super middleweight champion who's never actually lost. How often do you get that? 2-time world champion. He's now going up to light heavy, and he's going to be fighting for the interim WBA title, which I believe he's going to beat Vostok, I think. And then I see him challenging, it'll either be Bivol or Berbiev. I think stylistically, he has a much better chance against Beterbiev because they're both like power punches. I think Bivol might just be too cute, too slick for him with his speed, his angles, his movements. So and then obviously with all the injuries and age that's not on Beterbiev's side, that could be a fight to make for Benavidez. But if I'm thinking back to Canelo, man, what's next for him? We know that he's going to look to fight again in September. They're saying Edgar Berlanga. Honestly, man, if that fight happens, that is such a waste of time. I'm so sorry, but he is going to do the same thing to Berlanga that he did to Jaime, but worse. I actually think he will break his drought on stoppages with Edgar Berlanga. No disrespect to Berlanga. He's just not on the level of Canelo. Canelo has fought everyone. I mean, I looked at his list today. He's fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Gennady Golovkin 3 times, Floyd Mayweather, Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, Danny Jacobs, Charlo, Jaime. I mean, I'm probably missing people as well, but he's John Ryder, like just everywhere. He has fought everyone, and you're gonna then throw Edgar Berlanga basically as a sacrifice to Canelo. Who's his greatest win? Who's Berlanga's, best win? He hasn't fought anyone that's gonna give Canelo any problems, and we saw that today. We saw experience trump youth. Canelo's the older fighter. Mungia was the younger, fresher fighter. But you still can't buy experience. And when you're still, quite well-rounded, well-schooled boxer that isn't past it, and Canelo is nowhere near past his prime. Past it, should I say. He's still in the mix. He's not in his prime anymore, but he's still there. Then I think, that's just a waste of time. And if that fight happens, I'm not even going to watch it. And I'm probably not even going to do a video on it. I really want to see Canelo versus Benavidez and 168 pounds. But the problem might be that Benavidez might not come back down once he's made that 175 weight he might just not want to come back down again. But it's yet to be seen. Anyway, that's my thoughts for Canelo. As for Jaime, good fighter, man. I think he would cause any other super middleweight trouble by David Benavidez. I think he should just continue to refine his craft. Look at what happened to Canelo when he fought Mayweather. He, rebuilded. He rebuilt himself, should I say. He was, incredible moving back up the ranks. And he only just lost to Bivol a couple of years ago. He went through that massive unbeaten streak, albeit everyone knew that he lost to Triple G in that first fight. But, Jaime could come back, man. Jaime, I think, should take some time, rest. He didn't get schooled. I saw a YouTube video, as well, post-fight reaction saying Jaime gets destroyed by Canelo. I mean, come on, guys. He was not destroyed by Canelo. He was outboxed, outpunched, and beaten across 12 rounds. Yep, fairly. But he wasn't destroyed. Destroyed means you're stopped. You lose every single round. You were never in the fight. So, yeah, look, I think Jaime can definitely come back, take some time, and, the world is his oyster for him. With Canelo likely retiring, he can sort of look to pick up some of those vacant belts once Canelo has relinquished them. But let me know your thoughts. How did you see the fight? What's next for Canelo? What's next for Jaime? And do you want to see Canelo versus Benavidez just like every other boxing fan? Come on, Canelo. Let's do it for Mexico, man. Viva Mexico. You need to go in there with Benavidez. Please. Vinaka Vakalevu. I'm out.